I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
We really do hear you.
Each package with fish.
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored by PBS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTKF 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome into Fitness Fanatics on 93 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now here are your hosts, Jeff and Nicole Etzing.
All right, welcome into the show today. Last day of April. Hopefully everybody has their May baskets ready.
Do you even know what that is, Harrison?
No, what is a May Day basket?
But
you don't know what May Day is?
I don't even know why I even thought this or why I brought this up, but this could be a nice little conversation. So if you're out there listening and you know what a May Day basket is, you can text us at 402-464-5685. On the Starter Heyman text line. We'll be on the lookout for those. So Harrison,
my mom was
we'll
always
throw in a t-shirt for the first one to get it.
Okay, so
huge May Day person.
You get a free if you're the first one to text in. Let us know what a May Day basket is. You're going to get a free ticket t-shirt. So let's get some engagement going on here this morning. So
what do you, if you had to guess, what would you think it was?
A May Day basket.
May Day basket.
It feels like it's historically related to military something, right? No. Off on there.
I don't think so. Maybe
A
we should have
basket
done
of
some
goodies, maybe?
research.
So we really don't even know where it started.
Origin, we do not know.
I'll look it up. I'm not in the running for the t-shirt, so.
All right. So text in, know what a May Day basket is. 402-45685. You can check us out on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Allo channel 91. The Fitness Fanatics is sponsored by Integrative Life Choices. ILC is hiring direct support professionals all over the state of Nebraska, full-time, part-time, days, evenings, and weekends. People can apply at ilc.net/careers. Direct support professionals work to ensure a meaningful life for the people they support. They work to support people in achieving their hopes and dreams. And it looks like we have our first texter
from Bryce.
Bryce said, it's a basket in my, May Day basket. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Basket. No, I'm just kidding. In my experience, it's typically a cup full of candy that you give someone on May 1st. At least it was when I was growing up. Yes. So
that is correct.
That is a May Day basket. Yeah. So Bryce, you get a t-shirt.
Yeah. Put in your, text us your t-shirt size and I'll put a sticky note and put it here on the station. So you can swing by anytime today or during the weekday and we'll have that ready for you.
All right. So now we need to find the meaning behind the May Day basket.
I found the meaning already.
Okay. So
do you guys have a guess?
No.
I don't know.
Do you have a guess on where it originated?
No.
I have no idea.
Okay, so originated.
Tell us.
So the tradition dates back to pagan rituals in the 12th and 13th centuries of Germany to commemorate the turn of chilly and rainy months into warmer and happier ones.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's something good to celebrate here in Nebraska.
So it's about the weather, upcoming nice weather.
My mom always made baskets.
So
we did school.
Yes, if you got a May Day basket, text us and let us know like what was in there. Like Bryce got some candy. LC else said you'd ring the doorbell.
Yeah, you drop them off at people's houses.
Yep, put the cup on the front step and run. The person would try to catch you.
Yeah, nope, that's true.
So, you could also use it if there was a girl or a boy you liked.
Did you do that?
Well, I mean, nobody liked me.
Like you.
Nobody liked me growing up, so I didn't. But
maybe if you would have given away some May Day baskets.
Maybe. Or so typically in the May Day basket, that you think about this now, like you just get a random cup of like popcorn.
Popcorn is what
Okay, so somebody
the pipe cleaner handle.
Right.
Yeah, on like a solo cup. That's
like if you think about today, somebody dropped a cup of popcorn, like not a container with the lid, but just a cup,
open cup
with popcorn, M&Ms, right?
Yeah.
Candy corn, maybe.
Probably not. There's candy corn right now.
If somebody just dropped that on your front step, you'd be like, what is happening? I am going to eat this right now.
We should bring May Day baskets back. Did they come back briefly during COVID? Or am I dreaming that? I don't know if we
don't
did
know.
that in
I
May.
feel like it'd be extra not coming back.
Yeah,
during
you're
COVID.
right. You're right.
Please step
Just
away from my front door.
Don't leave me random, potentially contaminated items.
Right, but you would eat. You don't even
Yeah.
know where it came from. You're just like, oh, here's a popcorn that just landed on my front step. Let's just start eating.
I'd be
this.
really confused because I want to know what May Day is in the first place. So it would be extra confusing.
It was just a.
Should we bring it back? My mom was huge May baskets. She would save those. Like, okay, this is
Okay, I just looked up at the screen. We have the Allo TV on, and my hands are flying all over the place. So I better calm down.
why I think
I'm
that's
like, what
pretty
the
normal.
heck is happening with my hands?
There's a lot going on in the studio. There's multiple screens. I'm watching myself on my phone, and there's a monitor here and a TV there, and none of them are synced. So it's very distracting for me. But whatever.
Just look forward.
Anyway, as I was speaking,
Yeah, sorry.
Harrison probably no concept of when strawberries came in baskets. Does that you? It's always
No.
been in those little clamshell.
Yeah,
Or, yeah.
no, I'm
Yeah.
not aware of that.
Basket.
So remember, you know,
Well, I never ate strawberries.
I know, but sure you've seen them. Strawberries used to come in these like green plastic baskets. Is that not
Vaguely,
Right,
yes.
Yeah, like they
yes.
had holes in them. They were like a plastic. like-
Okay.
my mom would save those like all year, and that's what we would use for our mini baskets. It was a big deal.
I don't remember if I.
We never really did it with our kids though. Maybe once.
When did it go away?
I don't know.
When people thought it was
Probably-
strange to get random popcorn on
Right.
your porch.
Well, were you guys both doing that, like in your childhood?
Yes.
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 Well, I don't know if I
It was
ever.
our generation that maybe dropped the ball on the whole thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
It
guys
was
just like we should bring that back.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be
We're
playing
the
that
ones-
yourselves.
the ones that dropped the ball. It ended with us.
Yeah,
Gen
I mean,
X.
I remember, getting them on the front porch, or it's just like your first or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
drop them off.
Yeah, you wouldn't go to like strangers' houses
No.
necessarily.
No, you wouldn't just walk the
Canvas
neighborhood.
the
with, like,
neighborhood.
big tub of Mayday baskets.
I hope we have a bunch of Mayday baskets dropped off at the ticket tomorrow though, because tomorrow's Mayday. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give them
and
regular
I
baskets.
bet Sybil and Coach Bush would love their Mayday baskets
Proud-
'cause
yeah.
they probably participated in
And some of
this.
the other
bet they
shows,
did.
and some of
Yes.
those guys do very well on
Yes.
gifts.
So
yes, yeah.
if you have a Mayday basket, you want to drop by the studio to one of your favorite radio personalities. Now we won't be here tomorrow, so you can't drop it off.
And we
with
won't
us,
be here
but-
next weekend either. So
next weekend is the half marathon that we're both going to be participating in, trying to complete. We do have another text here from Jeff. What a great name that is. What an amazing name from this texter. Jeff texts in, says it's reverse trick or treating. Right. You
it
usually
is.
come to the door begging for candy. And then now you're leaving it. So yeah, but that's
Becky commented too.
on the stream.
Yeah, and she said that. So Becky, she said we danced around the maypole in elementary school, which I never. No, because
Maypole
not a
is-
may. It's not a maypole. It's a maybe not pole because they couldn't. It's the pole with ribbons, and you run around in a circle and you wrap the ribbons up. I've never done one, but I've seen one. It's in Gilmore Girls. You should know this. It's the Gilmore Girls episode that Luke's wife is in.
Okay, well, I know what
Right.
episode that is.
Kirk
Yes.
is mad because he's not part of the festivities. But anyway, so Becky, is that something you only did on May 1st? Was a maypole only May 1st? Like a May Day
Around the
celebration?
pole. I've never.
I didn't know people really did it. I thought it was just like a
Now dancing around a pole sounds like a pagan tradition.
no.
It is. It is
Okay,
another.
there we go.
It's all tied together. It's all in rituals
Right.
from Germany.
Now,
Yeah, that's
now,
funny. So it must be a May Day.
now I'm having
Celebration.
flashbacks of the Dragnet, where
I've
they.
never seen that.
Okay, Dan
No.
Aykroyd and
I haven't seen that. What's it called?
Dragnet,
No.
where they go bust a pagan ritual or their sacrifice. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay.
but anyway, so Becky said
Interesting.
May 1st.
Yep.
So
May 1st. Okay.
the only day that you danced around. So what? So you could just go find any pole in the
No, it
city.
has to have ribbons on it because every person holds on to a ribbon and you basically just walk in a circle and you get closer and closer and closer to the pole because, right? Is that right, Harrison? Because then the ribbon wraps around the pole.
Right, but we could just go out like to the street if we had ribbons and just wrap them around a random pole. That would be a maypole.
don't-
Well, it originated
I
with the
don't think
tree.
so.
It's like
Okay.
all the
Okay.
same thing. So like it's Roman Britain about 2,000 years ago. Soldiers celebrated the arrival of spring. Once again, the arrival of
Mm.
spring by dancing around a pole or a decorated tree.
So we could make a maypole in both of the gyms for tomorrow.
That'd be a sick
Make
workout.
people doing walking lunges in a circle.
Around the poles in the middle of the gym.
You might have some some people question Farrell's
Yeah,
Becky,
methods.
no thanks.
go ahead and bring your little strings tomorrow, 6 a.m. Have your team do it and around the pole. At
Yeah,
6
I've never
a.m.
done. I've never actually done a maypole.
Yeah,
That one I can go away from. Bring the baskets back though.
Right.
That seems fun.
Yes.
Baskets were so fun. We would take them to school. We lived down the country, so we never took them to like our neighbors. But my mom we would always bring them to school, some type of a basket or a cup, and it usually had popcorn and.
I wonder if
I
the
don't remember what
maypole thing
else.
was just a Nebraska thing.
No, it came from
Did
Germany.
you do it in Iowa?
Oh no,
See, I never knew that.
I'm sure it's pretty sporadic.
Just wherever.
Becky grew up in Crete, small town.
Like it makes sense that in the Midwest it's kind of familiar.
Yeah.
A lot of German
Celebrate
ancestry.
Spring
Mhm.
too.
A lot of us are from that region of Europe.
I think that's where my aunts are from.
We'll have to ask
Or
Ben.
the Netherlands or someplace like that.
Essink. That seems like a
I
German name.
think the Netherlands or Holland or somewhere. I have a book that has like the history of Essinks. But I've never really done like an ancestry report.
I
Have you guys
wonder-
ever done a 23andMe?
No.
I'm really curious. I want to
Me
do. One of
too.
my friends did that, and he scored very high in the Neanderthal.
Oh,
It's a reality check
interesting.
for him.
So-
He was way above average on that.
What's the if it's not sports related, I don't really know what stuff is. So what's
No, he doesn't.
23 and
You've
you only-
never heard of
when I hear
23andMe.
23, I think of Mike Burton. Okay, so 23 and me would be what?
So 23 chromosomes. It's your DNA.
Okay,
It's the
okay.
DNA test that you take and you like swab like your mouth or whatever, and you send it in, and they send you back your ancestry, basically.
So kind of what we were talking about.
Yeah,
right?
but
It's kind of
like-
cool. It'll
but
tell you
not-
certain traits, like what you're at risk for. Like, hey,
Yeah.
if you're this makes sense why you get cold very easily.
Hmm.
It's getting better and better. It's pretty cool. But yeah, it just makes me laugh because I have
Yeah.
one friend who's very
That's pretty funny.
Neanderthal in him, and he had to
He was
look
probably
at himself in the mirror for a
he was
while.
probably real excited to tell everyone his results. And
Well,
then
he's like a hairy guy too,
Yeah.
which made it funnier.
Well,
It's
this
just
makes
like-
sense.
yeah.
This is my ancestor
people
here.
are getting a little leery about those though, because that's how some serial killers are being caught now because of those tests.
Seriously.
Yeah, because
They're
it
figuring out all that
the-
DNA.
Yeah, like the Golden Gate killer was, I think, found that way because like
Seriously?
a relative did it, and then it like traced back. So, which I think is cool. If I can, if
What do
I
you mean
can,
a relative? How did that?
because it's the
trace it?
way the DNA, like I don't know, just
I know you can see
Google it
other
because there's how
people's-
they did it. That's how they did it.
like you can track family members, but they also have to have done a 23andMe.
Yeah, but the police, they can get
Yeah,
all
that's
that
a good point.
information, right?
Mm.
They just subpoena stuff.
Yeah,
They
you
don't
know?
stop after
Right.
23andMe.
Yeah.
They
I
do a
wouldn't
little
think
more.
a serial killer is going to send in their.
They
DNA
don't.
to
It's
figure out
a
where they came
relative
from.
of them.
Like, why am I
Like they
doing
didn't
this?
know.
What-
It was the relative. It was a relative.
Okay.
I don't know the whole story. Look it up if you're interested. But that is why some people are now leery. Now, if I can shine light on some, dirty secret, family secret, then more power to me.
I thought you were going to say, now if I can shine some light on why you are the way you are, that would be great.
I've accepted that now. There's
I'm going to
nothing-
be getting the swap here coming up in the middle of the
I
night.
have actually thought about asking that for like my birthday or for Mother's Day from
Oh,
Katie, not you. 'cause
oh.
you don't really buy that stuff, but Katie does.
Well, okay, so yes, I mean it's like your birthday every day in our house.
Okay.
It's Mother's Day every day in our house.
You heard the comparison.
Yeah, I had a tough time.
Oh, okay.
It just looks like what I saw is like they gathered DNA from the crime scene, and that DNA traced them to a relative.
Yeah, because it's in a database. The DNA, the crime scene DNA is in a database, but
Mhm.
until they have a match, then it doesn't mean anything.
Yep.
Then they somehow use that information to match it cross.
So scene, and then I think they used that to one ancestry sites there.
Mhm.
So I think you're right.
I am right. I
Yeah.
just all that details. I am 100% right.
That's usually what I say. And I'm saying you're right. You're right.
No, I am right. I don't say stuff unless I know that it's true. I
back
just
to
don't
the-
know all the details.
Back to the Mayday baskets. Did we do that with our kids? Like
I
Becky,
think-
did you do that with your kids? Like,
I feel like
or
we
does
did.
anybody do that now? Like if you're listening with your kids or anything like that, is that still a thing? Or
This
is
is
it
going
just
to
a thing in the
be
past?
one of the things that I'm pretty sure we did it with Kate, and then we never did it with Ben. But also in our neighborhood, when Katie was younger, a lot of her friends lived on our street, and Ben didn't really make friends with the kids especially until he was a little bit older. So
Mm.
I do think we made baskets and she took one over to like Connor and Noah or whatever, but I don't think Ben ever did. I don't know.
That's the second child
I
neglect.
know.
Or yeah, we did this. Yeah, you have your baby book with the first child, and
Yeah.
everything's filled out, and then the second
Do you
child
even
just-
have a baby
just
book,
blank.
Harrison? Aren't you the youngest?
Yeah, so I actually got the best end of the
Ooh.
deal because you go book 1, my oldest, Everett, pretty thick book. Book 2, Houston, a little thinner. Book 3, Sawyer. I'm sorry, Sawyer,
nothing.
thinner, even way thinner.
Like you see when he's born, and that's it.
Yeah, just one picture when he's born, one picture
First
when he's
word,
moving out.
blank.
No.
First
When
birthday.
he's moving out. Yes.
No, she's got
Graduation.
books, but then mine's like super thick at the end because I was spoiled.
Scrapbooking and stuff.
I
Too,
won't deny
probably
it.
was big. Okay.
Mhm. I definitely got spoiled being the youngest.
I think you had enough in your family. That you have 4. 3.
Yeah, 3 older brothers. I'm the
Right.
youngest.
So I think that kind of changes things a little bit. That 2, 3 sometimes I think can be where it kind of 2 kids to 3 kids, but 4 kids I can see how the 4th one.
Well, I was
Like-
the 4th kid.
I
I
know,
didn't
but
get
you-
anything.
Your
As I
situation was,
was-
different.
As my mom tells me that I was an attempt to save a marriage, and it did not work
and
because
it
my
was
parents got divorced when I was
regretfully
3.
it did not
Yeah,
work.
yeah. Regretfully, it did not work.
Out of the words of your mom.
She says, we just didn't have that 4th child. Well, thanks, Mom. That was me. The 4th child didn't work.
Yeah, that was a little bit
That was the
different.
marriage attempt
But that's
saver.
not even true. You can't even say that because your mom has the most pictures of all of you, of any family ever. So you can't even
What do
say
you
that.
mean?
There's so many pictures of you when you were little.
I'm not saying she really.
Well, that's what we were
regrets it.
talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
That's what we were talking about. If she put all of those pictures in a book, your book would be really
Well,
big.
And I feel like the baby books again. This would be something.
This is
I
not
don't-
how we.
I don't
envisioned
know
this
if,
show to go
if
this morning.
today's generation, like if you're just a recent mom, right, where you just had a baby within the last 2 years, like, are you keeping a baby book, like
No, but
first presents and baby's first birthday, like Aunt Nikki bought
That is true.
a car.
Like a that you share with
And
It's-
it's in a photo album.
Right.
It's just on your phone. It's like the whole thing with Coach Bush talking about having real tickets. Like
Yeah.
you have memorabilia of
Yeah,
your ticket stub and a picture of the game. Now it's just you have a picture of your phone.
I'm a believer in the real
screenshot.
tickets. I still like getting the real
we
tickets.
do too.
Yeah, we do too.
But nowadays you can just send all your pictures on your phone to a company and they'll mail you back a book. So it's kind of
Oh.
coming around the other way. You know that
Like
we
Shutterfly.
we
Yeah.
did that. Yeah.
Is
Mhm.
that still a thing?
Well, yeah,
Shutterfly?
but it's
I think so.
yeah, but I don't think that's what people use now. But mixed tiles, no, that's for pictures. I don't know. But yeah, with Katie, I had a photo album of every single holding her for the very first time.
And with Ben, we have what? Nothing.
I don't know.
Nobody
Ben
holding
was
it?
really unfortunate because he cusp of like digital print to digital. So I think a lot of his were lost like on old computers and stuff that we never took out. Because remember, I just found all those on an old computer. We have other
laptop.
computers that I feel like we have pictures of him that are lost forever.
Maybe it's a good thing you didn't bring Ben in today.
No.
You'd be a little disappointed. You'd just be like, "This is what we're talking
We
about."
wouldn't be talking about this if he
I
was
had
here.
this and that. I just no pictures.
We were trying to get Ben to come in today to talk about some football.
I thought he'd be hyped
NFL
about
draft.
Lamar Jackson.
He is.
back on the Ravens, but he could probably go on an hour.
The
I
9,
could just unlock the studio for him and he
Yeah.
can go on a rant for
the
an
9
hour
a.m. call time is a little rough for
A little tough for a 16-year-old.
on a Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to break here. We'll figure out what we're. Oh, we do have a guest. We do have a couple guests coming into the studio. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's not May yet, but we don't have a live show until May 14th. So we have an event that's going to be coming up here in the middle of May. So we have a couple ladies coming in to talk about that
Mhm.
at the top of the hour. So you actually, won't just hear us talking the whole 2 hours of the show. So
about May Day.
yeah, we'll be right back here on. I think we're supposed to be talking about some fitness-related stuff. So we'll be back, and we'll talk Lincoln Half Marathon and how that's going for us coming up here right after our break on 93.7 The Ticket.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $20 up on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers today. help, vision, so much more. Join the company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Tailored Life is now open in Bennett. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home, for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of potted trees, shrubs, vines, perennials, and colorful annuals. Plus, porch pots and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más años, me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Y que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente ser Alzheimer, es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids. First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse. Basic fatherhood done. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 50 in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental ability levels to live fulfilling life. They're also hiring. Learn more about services for your or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
They're on the cusp of probably major announcements. Trev, Albert, CAD will ask for 150 million in that range. Now, add 70 maybe and put a roof on.
Who would get to run that retracts the roof and does it? Also,
maybe you'd be the
I
honorary.
think
button.
I think you should be the first one. It's his idea. He'll get to do the first.
Here's what I thought. I always thought it'd be a practical roof.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them? By their clothes, age, the way they speak? Would you notice the 16-year-old boy who got his first job
for extra spending money, but to help feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in which is sometimes hungry so her kid, or a 14-year-old girl who signs up every activity to get something to eat, or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics. We had a pretty fun first segment there, going to the Wayback Machine, talking about Mayday baskets. Appreciate the text that we're getting this morning. It's nice to know that we have some people listening.
We know we do.
Yeah. One thing over the next segment here, we're going to talk a little bit about the half marathon and maybe a little bit about mental health and tying into exercise is something we wanted to talk about. Gosh, we started this like a month ago, and then we've just been so busy with guests and like we just
our
really haven't had
goals.
time. No, not the goals
Oh.
necessarily. Some victories.
Oh yeah.
Somebody had messaged me yesterday saying they were getting caught up. Lindsay's husband, Bruce. They were on. Lindsay's one of our instructors. Her and her husband do ferals. They were doing on a road trip, getting caught up on the Fitness Fanatics, and he was listening to the show where we were wanting people to sit in their positives, like their accomplishments, health and fitness related, non-scale victories, scale victories. So he sent me a message.
Oh, did he have one?
Yeah, he has perfect
Oh,
attendance
yeah.
for the first
I already
3
knew
weeks.
that. Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So if you're out there listening, you have any positive victories, non-scale victories, weight loss victories, anything that you're proud of, we'll give you a shout out here on the air. One of our members, AJ, had been on, this is a positive story about him. He had been on blood pressure medication for about 8 years. He's one of our 6 a.m.ers at Yankee Ridge. Blood pressure medication, and I'm not a big, don't really know the exact numbers, like what they all mean, but his top number, it had never been under 120.
Which is where you want it to be.
Okay. So even on blood pressure medication, so he told me on Thursday that he's off blood pressure medication, and he just went in and got his physical, and his blood pressure was 112. All blood pressure medication, lowest seen in over 8 years.
Wow.
He's been doing ferals since January. So after the 6 a.m. class was over on Friday, I gave him a shout out. So it's pretty cool. He was pretty pumped about
It's got to
that.
be a good peace of mind for sure.
Absolutely.
Those
Yes.
are my favorite.
Yes.
The things that you can't see.
Right.
The things that you can't see as a benefit of getting healthy. And I've said this many times, but exercise is one of the best things you can prove those numbers, your blood numbers, cholesterol, blood pressure, all that stuff. Even if you don't change how you eat to change the way your body looks, because that's what's going to really give you the most change, is changing your nutrition. Exercise is really what your body thrives on, and the fact that like getting those numbers to the optimal levels, because that's what our bodies are designed to do. They're designed to move and be active, not sedentary. And then when you're being sedentary on top of a less than ideal diet, that's kind of the perfect storm. But yeah, we see that a lot with guys who don't want to give up their beer and burst.
Yeah.
So they maybe they maybe don't give that stuff up, but they work out a lot or consistently, and they will still be kind of. Could they be better? Yes, they could have been better. They would have paired the two together, but
or maybe cutting back.
Yeah,
like still enjoying those things, but just not, living for them. Like there used to be a point in time where, we would live for.
We would live for Sunday when by Sunday night.
Yep,
Then
that was our free day.
we would drink like a week's worth of Pepsi in one day, which kind of seems counterproductive, but that was before we were fitness fanatics. That was
we were just fitness babies.
We weren't even fitness. We were just babies.
We were doing that was when we were doing ferals.
Yeah, but we even before that. Well, yeah, you're right, because before that we would drink. Oh, no,
it was just Pepsi. That's it. It's all we drank.
Yeah,
all the time. So speaking of, I haven't had any pop since September.
Good job. That's a good victory.
That is, I don't even think about it now.
And we're not big pop drinkers anyway, but back in September,
we used to be. Like,
well, not
I
now.
mean, I was.
I don't know. You were back before
Yes,
September.
you go out to eat at like Applebee's.
Yeah, we don't go out to eat that much.
And I would drink like 4 Pepsis before the meal even got there.
Yeah, you were.
And then I was full.
Yeah.
But that was the meal. I'm just like, I just drank 2,000 calories, carbs and sugar before the meal gets full. But when I go and you get a water, then it's like I drink like half a cup of water.
I know, yeah.
Before the meal gets there. But if it's pop, I'll drink 4 glasses.
Yeah, we don't go out to eat a lot, but I guess that's true. When you would always drink too much. But yeah, you and Katie are holding strong.
Well, and then it's like,
no
Katie hasn't had any pop either. But then you go out and you get your meal and you buy 4 drinks, and it's an extra $12.
That's true.
Like just in pop, and you're like, oh my gosh, you just spent $80 at this restaurant, and 25% of it was pop, and we could have just had water. So I think
That's a good one.
some of that is like getting over mental hurdles
Or just habits.
right? Because it's like, oh, I'm having a pizza, I need a Pepsi, because you've heard those commercials like,
I
right?
hate those commercials, and why would you even make
Pepsi
that
goes
sound?
so well with pizza, like those new commercials that they have out
Oh,
there.
I hate those so much.
Coke's really good at it.
Yeah, it's like
the deep dive, and you see visual bubble. And like,
I hate
yeah,
it. I hate it so much.
but it's just a mental thing. Like, I can have pizza without pop, right? So if we get a pizza from Casey's, I
On our
don't
fun free day,
right.
fun day.
I don't get anything. I just drink water from home, or I'll have a sparkling water that has the carbonation. So my brain's like, oh, this person's drinking pop with this pizza, and it's your brain satisfied. So it's those mental hurdles getting over. That's like, hey, I don't need pop with a burger or a pop with a pizza. Or one time last year when Katie and I went to Nebraska, it was when I was in Whole30, and
You both were.
yeah, we went to the game, just got a water in the stadium. We didn't eat a hot dog. I'm like, oh, I just saved myself $40 just not eating anything, you know? So just those mental hurdles of like, Kevin, you can, get a pizza and have a couple slices and not have pop with it, and you'll survive.
Well, Harrison,
Right?
during the break, you were talking about how you kind of have or cut down on caffeine.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good victory.
Yeah, caffeine is always tough. Like, I just get super shaky,
Yeah.
and then like your heart rate starts going up, and then on my watch I'll relax for years.
That's pretty bad.
And then I'll be like, why
Breathe.
is my watch telling me to calm down? And then I'm looking at my 6 cup of coffee. I need to cool down here. That and like energy drinks, those damn Mountain Dew Kickstarters. It's like 2 for $3. I
It's
just
so
love those
cheap.
things. So finally get shaving those off. But yeah, it just saves money too. Like just like
Mhm.
alcohol, go out to the bar. It's like you don't need to get a beer every time you're sitting at a bar watching. You'd be happy too. You get your paycheck. Not even just Fitness Fanatics. If you're into finances, like you'll be like, hey,
And it's true because I've been thinking about talking about this, so this segues really well because people, like in our 10-week challenge, we're in week 3 and or week 4, so just started to start. And that first couple weeks, the nutrition part's really hard. And but as you start to log your food, you realize how, for most people, they're not eating enough, and what they are eating is not what they need. So like you don't realize that until you start eating what your body needs. But I like thinking about that in terms of finances too, because you don't know this, Jeff, but Katie and I just had a conversation. It's not anything big, but it's our daughter who's 20. She has this like budgeting app, and she just started it because she had gone back like last month and she had spent like over $700 on food.
I'm not
But
surprised.
no, but the thing is, we do that about a lot of things.
Mhm.
And food is no different. If you are not being aware of what you're eating day to day, week to week, every month, then it gets away from you really fast. That's how it happens to me. I'm not eating enough protein, and I'm only aware of how much protein I'm eating, making it a
That's how
priority.
a lot are,
I
because
agree.
you'll say like, well, talking to our members, well, yes, I eat healthy. I had a salad. Okay, well, what's in the salad?
Yeah.
Lettuce, tomatoes.
Did you make it at home, or did you get a salad from Panera, which can be like, or Cheesecake Factory, which is like notoriously ridiculous. Like the worst thing you can eat at Cheesecake Factory is one of their salads.
really, it's just like
Yeah, because
super
it's just
loaded.
loaded with stuff. Yeah. Yes. So So
But-
it's like that. When she made that awareness, then she has now started to budget her money and spent a lot less on it. She actually had money left over from what she had budgeted for food this month
Good.
because she was aware of what it was. And that is a concept that we understand when it comes to money. We don't always put that together when it comes to nutrition and what we're eating, especially if you're trying to eat in a certain way to, reach certain goals, fitness or aesthetic goals. So I
Mhm.
think that was a good reminder because we've done that before. We've spent over $700 on
Harrison.
food and that was back when we were in our 20s.
I remember getting our statements in the mail. I'm looking at it.
Big
it's just,
statements.
bebops.
That would
Like,
have been you.
This is
with the
in
bebops.
us in our 20s,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, they don't even know.
Just-
Harris doesn't know what bebops.
Well, it's an Iowa.
It's a burger
I
place
figured-
in Iowa.
Figured it was
Yeah.
But just Godfather.
It'd be like Runza.
Just, you look at it and I'd be like, what, we just spent $1,000 in eating out
Yeah.
in a month. Like,
It's easy to unless you're not aware of it. Same with caffeine. It's easy to overdo your caffeine.
looking at what you're spending your money on is a pretty easy way to say. Like, you don't even have to be a nutrition, expert to figure out
Right.
like if I'm spending X amount of dollars at a gas station, that's probably not very nutritional.
Yeah. Or in fast food, gas
Mhm.
stations are a weakness for me.
That's
Sure.
I used to be. I don't work there anymore, but I used to be across from a Casey's.
Oh, Casey's is the best and the worst.
I could take a lunch break in 5 minutes, but I'd have to
Yeah.
go to Casey's for that. So
Yeah.
it's always tough. And they have like the super slices and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I love Casey's food, but after a while, if you look at your budget enough, and you're like, money's to cool it on that. Yeah, you can find out a
100%.
couple ways.
Yeah.
Where all your money's
That
going.
is looking at that bank statement is a really good way to like figure out where maybe you need to like trim some stuff nutritionally too. If you're a person who is a convenience type eater, not
Mhm.
planning, that's just not planning. Same thing with money. Same thing.
and it can get expensive eating healthy. I mean, but if you just were to not eat out for a month,
Yeah.
and or look at your last month's what did you spend on food, right?
Fast
Eat
food.
fast food,
Convenience.
not just fast food, but like going out to dinner. I mean, I know if we go out now, we hardly ever go out with the four of us,
Mhm.
because our kids are at an age where our daughter's 20, our son's 16.
They both work.
They both
and-
work,
yeah.
so like on Sundays, our daughter's working till 3:30, so she'll get home around 4, and then our son works 5 to 9.
So you got a busy weekend in the household.
Yeah, like we're not all home.
We're
so
just
we don't
never
do
home
stuff.
together.
Yeah.
So like we rarely will go out to eat as a family because we just don't have time. Usually, if we do, it'll be like on a Saturday if they're both off. But
And if you can talk them into paying for it. for
hey,
us.
yeah, sometimes I'll say, well, we'll go out to eat if you kids want to pay for it. So sometimes they'll buy us, but
Yeah.
just the four of you going out, and I can't imagine like families of 5 and 6
Yeah.
going to, any sit down restaurant, and you're dropping 100 and
It's at least $80 if
100
we all go. At least.
right.
Yeah.
So you're spending 100, 120, $150, which is more expensive than a Farrell's monthly membership.
Right. Yeah. But that's
So-
yeah, that's true.
So
Easy
it's
to budget around groceries.
Right.
You
Like
know,
just
you-
that money and then try to apply to making healthy. It's doable, but we don't look at it that way. So I think that's why I don't know. I think being aware of it is good. Caffeine's a good one to be aware of. Not even from a money perspective, just from a health perspective. Yeah. So like the half-life of caffeine, because there's so many I used to think this, and people say this, I could drink a cup of coffee and go to sleep and be fine. I used to say,
right now.
yeah, but it's not true because it
I could drink
affects
a
your
Monster,
quality of sleep
go to bed, drink a Monster, and go to bed.
because you're tired, but the caffeine is going to keep you. The half-life of caffeine is like 6 hours. If you have caffeine 6 hours, you still have some of that in your system. Like it takes a long time for caffeine to get out of your system.
That's a long half-life. I
Right.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But maybe look it up.
What are we half-lives? What are we talking about?
That's the amount of time it takes for like half of it to like why people say that. Well, that's because you could drink a Monster and go to sleep because you got up at 3:00 in the morning and you're just tired. You got up, you've taught a couple times, you're physically active, and now you're tired and you can go to sleep. That doesn't mean your quality of sleep is as good because your heart rate is elevated. And what is it? Was I
So
wrong?
you're close.
Okay, 4.
It's a pretty wide range.
Okay,
5.
okay.
5 hours, but it's anywhere between 1.5 and 9.5.
Yeah,
It all
obviously
just depends.
everybody's different.
Yeah, but it seems to be 5 is about the average.
Okay, yeah, that's huge.
Still a long time.
Right.
Probably want to drink that right before bed.
Yeah, a lot of times people say you should stop drinking caffeine after like 1 or 2 in the afternoon.
And we're supposed to have how
I don't
many
do that.
milligrams of caffeine? 300 a day is what we're.
Well, like the top end is like 4 something, but you shouldn't have that much. That's a lot. That's a lot. I know you have that. You have more than that.
There is instances where like there's people that'll just chug like Monsters,
Yeah.
with high caffeine, and there's like they go to the hospital.
I
Like,
know.
it's too much
It
caffeine.
really
It's crazy.
depends. And I think part of that is because with the half-life too, it has to do with what else you're having with it. Are you just having caffeine? Like with you're
Yeah,
here, you're
if you have-
busy, and all you're doing is drinking coffee, and
You're-
you're not eating food either. Like, yeah.
Or if you're just pounding your 6 cups of coffee and then you have a piece of cake that's in the fridge, right?
Right,
So
yeah.
now you're just caffeine and carbs. That's all
sugar.
you're having. And sugar, yeah. That's when you're gonna get, if you're not having protein with it, like I will
to
do
slow down that digestive
like
absorption.
I'll do protein and instant coffee in the morning. That's what I do, and I'll do it 2 times. So I try.
Are you still sticking to your smaller serving size, Jeffrey?
I mean,
no,
it's hit and miss.
We cut the serving size down
Yeah,
to
it's it's
unbelievable.
it's hit and miss. I mean,
That means no. It
I'm
means
still
we're
alive,
back to
so
your
that's what
full
matters.
many scoops.
No. It's not as bad.
It does affect your sleep. Just because you can fall asleep does not mean your quality of sleep is as good. If you think about it, that caffeine, it like you said, your watch will tell you your heart rate elevated.
Fast.
Just because you're tired, you can fall. Your heart rate is going down. I wear an Oura. It tracks my sleep and recovery, and it knows if I've had caffeine. Like it'll tell me the next day. Like, well, your sleep wasn't that great. Did you eat a little too close to, bed, or did you drink too much caffeine, or did you exercise too close to going to bed? Like it knows.
Oh, it'll give you tips.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yes, yeah.
Mine will just tell me if it's like high, and it'll be like, try relaxing more.
Right.
It won't know.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it gives you like lots of tips, and usually that's right. It'll tell you if your heart rate is elevated. It keeps track of your heart rate all night long, and so it'll tell you. It'll be like your heart rate reduced late last night. Like it took too long to get to your lowest rate in your sleep, and that affects your quality of sleep. So if you're drinking caffeine at 5, 6 o'clock at night, which I have sometimes, not 5. I usually try to have it before 4:30, but that's still not ideal. It affects my sleep, and I know it. But
I wonder what my
sometimes.
sleep would be like.
I don't know.
I'm wearing a wedding ring.
You
It's
have
on the other hand.
Oh, okay.
2 different hands.
I thought you had to watch that track your sleep. Or no?
What's that?
I thought you had to watch the track your sleep. or
Well,
no?
I don't. I have kind of an older
Apple
Apple Watch, so it would die in the middle.
Yeah,
of the
you
night.
can't. Do you wear an Apple Watch? What do you
No,
wear?
this is a Garmin.
Garmin's does much better for sleep. Apple Watches, you pretty much have to charge them at night while you're sleeping.
That's why I didn't get one.
Right.
Most things, I mean,
Yeah.
everyone I know that has one it's always on the charger.
Yeah, you have to charge it at night.
Yeah.
I have Apple Watch now, but whenever this ever dies, I'll go back. I've always had Garmin, but Garmin does have good on recovery.
It
Like
tracks,
tracking
man. They'll tell me
system.
deep sleep, REM sleep,
Yeah.
light sleep. It's pretty nice. It's good to have. Sleep's a tough thing to keep
Yeah.
track of.
Yep,
But that's one thing with technology is really, really beneficial.
It
because
is.
Sleep is a hard thing to track without it.
It's only beneficial if you change your habits based on the
True.
information that you get. Because sometimes I don't, and my Oura Ring gets real mad at me. And when I have like a couple days of like high activity and not enough rest,
Or if we have a 10-week party,
the
and
10-week
drink
party
too much.
Oh yeah, it does not like that at all. It gets real mad. Usually on the Sundays after the 10-week party, it's so bad that the Oura Ring's trying to make you feel better. Like it's going to be okay.
Your
Like-
life is okay.
like,
Yeah.
Don't freak out, but you had a terrible night's sleep last night. You did not get enough. What you got was terrible. Your heart rate never went below whatever, and whenever it tells me it's going to be okay. I know. I already know I've made bad
You
choices.
know why.
Yeah. So it's only useful if you use it. But like our daughter has a Garmin, and she is like very meticulous with that sleep data, and she will go to bed when it tells her to, and she's very like aware of her body battery, and if she's like rested enough, and she's very tuned into that. But it only helps.
We
if
didn't
you
know
use
any
that
of that
information.
stuff when we were her age.
No, we did not.
To manually log it down. You'd have to
We
go to
just didn't
bed, write it
know.
on a sheet, wake up, write it down.
I
That's how
don't
many
think
hours you
anybody
got.
even did that. I don't think even anybody even cared how much we got. I don't know.
Was pushed on you guys growing up, like 8 hours has always kind of been the thing.
Yeah, I think 8 hours was what was always told, but now
still
it's-
Kind of, right?
Yeah, it's still 8. I mean,
It depends on your age. There's definitely a range. Like the younger you are, you need more sleep. As you get a little bit older, then you don't need as much. And then as you get older than that, then you need a little bit more.
What
So-
range are we in?
Well, we're in the it's very subjective. You have to know yourself. Like 8 hours of sleep for me, I physically cannot lay in bed for 8 hours,
Your
and neither
back
can you.
hurts,
Right?
just-
Yeah. So really, that's why those trackers are helpful, because you can find out what is optimal for you. Like for me, one giant chunk of sleep. Like I need 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep. I cannot be in bed for more than 7 hours. Like physically cannot be in bed. I will just wake up.
When we get up at 3
And
10 in the morning,
Yeah.
5 days a week.
So I think as long as you're consistent and you know yourself, but you have to use that time to learn.
It
that
looks
by
like
yourself.
it's 7 or more if you're 18 to 60, and then 61, 64, 7 to 9. And then weirdly enough, 65 and up is 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I wonder
Interesting.
why 61 to 64 they want you to have. It's kind of a weird jump. Or
Yeah, you have to need a little bit more.
Yeah, you
And
would-
then less as you get older.
Yeah.
Older. Less as you get older is probably just because you're very much more sedentary, so you don't need as much
That's true.
sleep because you're not doing as much. But
Well,
again, that's all.
One of our instructors, Barb, on the stream, she gets a minimum of 7 hours.
Yeah.
For her.
7 is when I did that fit challenge. That was one of my goals was 7 hours. Is super strict about going to bed right at 8 p.m. And I did feel good on 7. I can get away with 6.5. If I get multiple days of less than that, I definitely feel it. But we can also take naps.
I feel like if we lived on the West Coast and all this stuff was sporting events were over, I could go to bed at 8 o'clock. But like,
I would stay up for sports.
That is the problem.
You just
I mean, watch NBA playoffs. And you're like, it's in LA. Crap. I'm gonna be up till
I can't even
12. Midnight.
My
Never watching the game.
My brother is a big Lakers fan, and I'll talk to him and be like, "What time does this game start?" 9:30 Central. I'm already in bed for an hour before it even tips off. So like, yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know. And then if you're on the East Coast, the game doesn't start till 10:30. Like, who watches that?
Yeah,
like stays up till 2 a.m. to watch. I mean, again, the only thing that would keep me up that late is if the Huskers are playing, I would stay up and see them. Or if it's like playoff games, like I will stay up and watch. Now, last year I was so tired on Saturday that I could not stay up for this Chargers Jags playoff game. I'm like, it's over. And I went to bed and I wake up and the biggest comeback in playoff history that I missed. And our son was watching. I'm like, why didn't you come wake me up for this? Oh, I didn't know.
Now he's gonna wake you up for everything. Every little
Yeah, you got to be
thing.
careful.
I
Now
know.
it's going to be, regular season game 21-0. And it's like, oh, you fell asleep.
I don't really know. Like, there's just no lead is safe really anymore.
Yeah, we saw it with the Colts Vikings.
Yep.
33-0.
I know it. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a break here. We'll talk a little bit more fitness stuff here coming up in our next segment. Preview our half marathon coming up right back on 93.7 The Ticket on the Fitness Fanatics.
Sunday morning. It's not weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast bread. Now, maybe you're an apple screw. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
This is Jay Foreman. When I played football for Nebraska and in the NFL, I wore protective gear to safeguard my health. Today, I'm not only protecting my health, but everyone in our community by staying up to date with the bivalent COVID vaccine. Update your protection with the bivalent COVID vaccine while it's still free. Find out more at healthylincoln.org. That's
On the block, Austin.
From recruiting on the field, what you heard in post game, what grade do you give Nebraska the spring game week?
It's an A. It really is an A. I don't think Nebraska football has been in this good of a position trajectory-wise for a long time. I really feel like that's a strong statement that I feel like that's the truth.
Weekdays from 2 to 4 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Whether you like fishing together or fishing to get away, for the thrill of reeling in a big one, or just going out to have a good time. Amond, at a bend in a river, or on one of our many lakes and reservoirs, you'll always find the perfect place to cast a line, here, beneath Nebraska skies. Start planning your next fishing adventure today at letsfishnebraska.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take, but it gave my mom more time to plan together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/talk. Association.
They are our bugs and companions. They are our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency, make a family communication. Get started at read.com/.
Yo informas cuando me dije pintara el marco el lado por dentro de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/, nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's next from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in to Fitness Fanatics. We just have a few minutes before we are joined in studio by our guest for today. Next Sunday, we're going to be out running, walking, crawling, rolling, whatever we're doing for 13.1 miles.
Completing the half marathon.
Completing, yes, out at the Lincoln Half. I was looking back through my historical data. This will be my 5th Lincoln Half Marathon. My worst time was like 3 something when I was sick.
Yeah.
2017. That was our first. My best.
2016 was our first. We figured out.
Well,
we did it together.
I wasn't in there. I looked and I didn't find my name for a time, so that's why I was like confused. I thought we did it once because Dick and Chris were at.
No, I 100% did one that year. Was it just me?
Oh, I was out there too. I'm pretty sure it was both of us. But our 2019 names weren't in the things either. Like I don't
know.
Any other?
Maybe.
I mean, maybe they could.
Maybe it was this
things in there. There's just on my run. I ran it.
Yeah, I don't know.
In May 2019. So my best time was 2:29. It's my best half marathon. Lincoln half ever.
Part-time runner.
What's your buddy trying to do his full marathon in?
I don't know, whatever the cutoff for the Boston Marathon.
Oh, I don't know. It depends on your age.
Whatever that is.
For him.
What I was telling me, he's just been not concerned for him.
We've never really researched that because we've never really been in that position.
Let me look it up real quick.
Yeah,
see what it is.
It depends on your age.
Yeah. So
male or female.
2:29 is my best.
Under 2:30, you're not going to get that.
Oh,
don't. It's going to be
Here
annoying.
we go.
Because I'm going to say this, and the reverse psychology of it is you just run the fastest half marathon of your life, and then I'm going to have to hear you complain about.
No, I don't complain.
Being hurt.
No.
Sore next week.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm classic between 2.5 and 2:45 half marathoner. That's usually where I finish somewhere in that time frame.
So he's just got to finish it in under 3 hours. So it
Oh.
looks like 18 to 34 is 3 hours, and 35, 39, 3 hours, 5 minutes. And that just kind of keeps slowly scaling up. 80 and over is 4 hours, 50 minutes. You got to get under
There's
there.
my goal.
Still have
And I'm
never
80.
done that. But again,
4 hours and
we are
50 minutes.
comparing your half marathon time to his full
I've
marathon.
done full
Yeah,
marathon.
so his
Right.
full marathon, he's got to get under 3 hours.
Yeah, he's got to do
Well, I'll be
26
gonna-
miles under 3 hours.
Can't say I'll.
And the way he's talking, it
Should.
sounds like he's not worried about that at all. So
That's
he might.
awesome.
I think that's your goal.
Yeah.
Beat Max.
No, that's not our goal.
That's my goal.
We're part-time runners. He's a full-timer. That's the
Pretty
difference.
much,
Right.
it's just
Yeah.
a full time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, preparing to try to get this. We just want
Is
to
that
finish.
is that a goal though to me to do 13 miles to the time somebody does 26?
There
Is that a
will-
great goal to have?
I don't know. If
I
you
mean,
want
he's
it
on
to
a
be-
new level. It'd be
Compare-
hard to compare.
If we look at your training plan,
Hey, I've ran 6 miles this week. We're gonna go out and do 8-mile run. Today.
Yes.
So that's our plan. We're both gonna be outdoors. Nicole's been running kind of on the treadmill.
I've been
Last
running
week,
outdoors too. I ran outdoors yesterday.
Yeah,
I ran
a mile.
outdoors on Thursday or on Tuesday, Monday.
mile you ran.
Mile and a half
yesterday?
yesterday, but that was after I taught fit.
Oh,
Again, let's
okay.
talk about, we don't just run,
I
we do
know.
other stuff too. I taught an hour-long strength training kickboxing class and then ran a mile and a half.
Oh, that's I'm happy for you.
Just saying, I ran outside too, not just
I
on the
did
treadmill.
run two. I ran 2 3-mile runs this week, and then we're doing 8. I wanted to run Friday too, but it was like raining in the morning. It's kind of. I'm a fair weather runner.
We know.
I mean, even today we're driving into the studio and the flags were just whipping. I'm just like, oh. My
Doesn't
God,
matter.
this is
The
gonna be a
weather for
nightmare.
next week is not ideal. So
No, there's a little rain cloud on there with rain, but then a lightning bolt. 60% chance it says.
there's still time for that to change.
This week I am going to 2 baseball games. Orioles, Royals. Wednesday night we'll be there. Thursday day game we'll be there. My son and I are going, so looking forward to that.
I guess both Orioles fans are just been
He's a huge Orioles fan. He's kind of roped me into this, like
or Orioles, right?
Orioles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So he's a huge Orioles fan. He's roped me in.
Well,
I know
because
a lot of the
paid-
players.
He paid for the package.
MLB, yes. So
Yeah.
he can watch every Orioles game on TV.
I've
Oh, so he's
watched-
serious.
He paid for it. Yes.
That's
I've
impressive.
watched-
That's an expensive.
I've watched more baseball in the last 2 weeks than
2
I've
days.
probably watched in my whole life.
pitch clock now. It's you can bear through it now. Before you're like you'd start the game, you're like I might be here for 5 hours.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it was just on the TV, and like there's
Yeah.
nothing else on. So it's like,
It's
oh, might as well
fine.
have something
He'll be
on.
like, this player has blah blah. I'm like, I have no idea what.
Yeah,
that
we don't
means.
care what his ERA is or how many hits he's given. I don't care. You know,
I don't know.
I'll care when we get to September when it matters. No, it's interesting though. But he's really hoping to get a ball thrown to him from an outfielder because our Wednesday night tickets were sitting in the front row in the outfield down
nice.
by the Orioles bullpen. So he's hoping one of the outfielders will flip him a ball because he'll be wearing his Adley Rutschman jersey on that Wednesday night. And I'm like, if you have a glove, you know, if you yell the person's name, they'll probably flip you a ball because you might be one of the only Orioles fans out there.
I bet you they do.
Oh yeah. So he's pretty excited.
That's
so,
cool.
But yeah. So next day we're gonna do kind of a replay favorite episodes with Jordan. In the first segment by yourself. I don't know this yet, but depending on what our current event talking was, you know, Mark's going to listen to it. But the last 90 minutes will be us and our replay with Jordan from January because we're going to be out doing the half marathon. But we'll be back on Mother's Day with an episode. So we're up for a break. We got our guests coming into the studio. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From homes for special needs adults to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disability services your loved one needs still in life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for, learn more about positions, learn more about services for your employment today at ID.net. Integrated Life Choices.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
Their age?
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Banks Strong, and the Ad Council.
Hey guys, Nick Sainert here for The Body Shop. I recently had an incredible massage from Dennis and his team at The Body Shop, and now a massage for you can possibly turn into a free massage for your mom. That's right, with every service you receive in April, your name is put into a drawing for a free massage gift certificate that can turn into a wonderful Mother's Day gift for the mom in your life. Book your appointment at thebodyshoplincoln.com and stop by their location at 48th and A. The Body Shop.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis can be reversed. Take the rest. Do I have prediabetes.org. That's doihavepreddiabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes? That's 33.33% of adults. Me, my boss, or my boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me. My karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk. Do I have prediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
This message is for Karina. Our mom will finish her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emma and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation at Council.
Everyone can bring us here. Some vacations, so you can get away where you need to be. Get you back on the road in comfort and safety. Big Diagnos all makes and models from Porsches to Honda, Toyota, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. Avon Automotive, 11L, downtown Lincoln, always understands answers.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Tim, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power. My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran. What do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Early break with Zip and Jake.
On the cusp of probably major announcements. Trev, dollars. We'll ask for $250 million in that range. Now, at 70 million, we'll fund.
Who would get to run the button that retracts the roof and does it? So
maybe you'd be the
I
honorary.
think I think you should be the first one to try it. It's Bill's idea. Bill gets to do the first. Here's what I thought. I just always thought it'd be a cool practice.
Early break with Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. 4 in the morning, my phone rang. They said, I regret to inform you that he was in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. Was doing also Victor. The most important element of didn't want to forget that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet halfway. There are almost a million who turn better through assassination. We have our own journey, and we can feel their journey at the same time that we are helping a loved one.
Visit AARP.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey. Better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. Some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, limitation degree stereotypes that are in back over 70 million stars. Work our skill through alternative routes rather than the debauchery. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Pona, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims.
If you're an ally of this community, there are us together and apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back in here. Second hour of the Fitness Fanatics. If you missed any part of the show, you can check us out on all the podcast platforms on the Ticket's website, theticketfm.com. A pretty awesome first hour, some nostalgia stuff. We talked May Day basket, and we'll talk to you too about May Day baskets, something you did growing up. Maybe we'll get there. So anyway, we are joined in studio by Melissa and Andrea. And we'll start with you, Andrea. Tell us a little bit about why you're here, what we're going to be talking about today, and so you can just hit the floor is yours.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for having us here today. We're really excited to be here. Well, we're here today to talk about mental health. As a lot of you know, May is Awareness Month, and our organization, Wellbeing Initiative, will be putting on its first annual benefit on May 18th to spread awareness in the community about the work that we do for people. We are a peer-run organization, so we are all certified peer support specialists, which means that we all have lived experience in mental health and substance use challenges, as well as an array of other issues. And we're able to use that lived experience to walk with other people on their journey through recovery. We are not here to tell anyone what they need to do to heal. We are simply there to demonstrate health and wellness, and then just guide people on their path. Whatever it is that they choose to do, we're there to support them. So we'll be putting on our first annual benefit. It's called Strike Out Stigma. It's going to get Sun Valley Lanes on May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. And we're really excited about it. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to all get together, have lots of fun. We're selling our really super cool t-shirts, which Melissa has one on today. They're awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So, and also just to teach people in the community, we're trying to break down the stigma around mental health and substance use issues. So it's okay to talk about this stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very important. Melissa, so what's your role in this organization?
So I'm a recovery community navigator, which is basically a peer support specialist. I get to help individuals on their pathway. We've received referrals for individuals with just like a little bit of additional support, and then I reach out and connect with them. I work primarily on a project called B-Core, which is building communities of recovery. It's basically the rural branch of that. So what we're trying to do, like we've been doing the peer support in Lincoln, that's been really successful. We'd like to extend it to the rural communities in Nebraska where there's definitely lack of resources.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the organization, like why does it mean so much to you guys? Like, do you have any?
Or we talked about the mission statement.
The mission statement,
So
yeah.
What kind of rattled that off?
Yeah.
Right off the top of your head. Yeah. So our mission statement is to empower people living with substance use challenges and mental health and substance use challenges. Gosh, I had it the first time to reach their fullest potential.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. And so I think that the reason that means so much is that we know what I personally know what it's like to and have lost all hope and feel like I'm never going to be able to contribute anything to this world. So then to have the opportunity to give something back to other people and to show them that there's hope. I think that losing hope is the worst thing that can happen to someone. So we have the opportunity to put our hand out and to give someone when they're lost and show them that maybe there can be a way out. I think that is just, to me, the greatest gift that I've ever received in my whole life, to be able to share that with another person. Yeah, and it's important because that is something with mental health, depression, and anxiety. It's very
isolating. So I think that is an important message to like put that out there to people that, there's definitely still ways to overcome that, or, and being an example of that is important. So that's really cool.
Absolutely.
Melissa, how about you?
Yeah, I have personally been on my recovery journey since 2015. So basically what Andrea said, it has been, I did not think I was going to be making it through days, much less being able to get back to the community. Like I was definitely in the depths, had lost all hope. And so it's been really cool to finally be able to get that back. I think that that's the most important thing that we talk about with peer support is the lived experience. It's easy for people to go, to other individuals and for them to be telling them what to do, but maybe they don't have never been there. So it's really, really cool that like we get to say like I have absolutely been in your shoes and know exactly what you're feeling and what that's like, and that gives other people hope.
That's kind of how we are with fitness. Like, we've been, bad health, and Farrell's helped turn us around. So now, yes, I can give advice to people about being healthy, eating healthy, working out. But if somebody's asking me about depression and mental health, I have no idea what to tell somebody, because I think it's with the mental health, you haven't dealt with it to understand. Like, because I can be like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, why would somebody ever think this way? But that's me, because I've never been there. So I think having, people to talk to that's been through it, like you were saying, is obviously way more helpful than if somebody just asked me about it. I'm like, well, I don't know, just think a different way. Like, I don't know what to tell somebody,
Yeah.
That's me. I'm just the average Jeff, I guess. That's what we say on this show.
That's what's so important talking about mental health is, like you said, breaking that stigma where, you may struggle to answer that question for someone right now just because that's just been such a taboo subject for so long. But if someone came up to you and said, my blood sugar is really out of control, what would you say? You would say, well, that's something that you should probably talk to your doctor about, because that's not your expertise. You know what I mean? And so for that to be very natural conversation, we want that to be a mental health conversation too, where we can be not necessarily confident in giving them the advice, but being able to provide resources to help them, or we could provide resources to people if they need help with a knee injury. We know who we can provide that resource to. We're not trying to diagnose someone with a knee, back issue or whatever. But I think that's what's so important about breaking that stigma, so people feel comfortable, and then other people feel comfortable, helping them in that, being alongside them with it, not necessarily always trying to fix it, which can be really hard sometimes, I think, for people that, yeah. So what, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think like one of what we like to say is we like to meet people where they're at and however that looks for them. So really just being on a level playing field, eliminating any sort of hierarchy that they may have felt in the past is incredibly important.
Absolutely. There's a really big difference, at least there was for me personally, between going and, I mean, I am not disparaging professionals in that place. And I have a great deal of mental health professionals in my life that I wouldn't be here without. They've done a wonderful work, but it's different to sit down with someone and look at them and know that they've been where you are and they have managed to recover. That's the thing. We always say we make recovery as possible together. That's the thing that makes it possible, is knowing that someone else has actually done it. And I did want to mention too that since we are grant funded, all of the resources at our center are provided at absolutely no cost to our participants. They do not need a diagnosis to come in. They are welcome to come in at any time and check us out. We also have a wellness and education center where we offer free groups, as well as yoga classes, meditation classes on the weekends, and everyone in the community is welcome. You do not need to have any sort of special qualifications to come into WBI. Anyone can come at any time and check us out.
That's awesome. And like, where are you guys at? We'll talk about this more too to wrap it up. But since you kind of brought that up, like, how do people find out more about the services and stuff that you guys have?
Well, we are located here in Lincoln. We're at 5530 O Street. That is on our main offices are. You can also check us out on our website, which is wellbeinginitiatives with an S at the end.org. And there's all of the information about all of the resources that we have online.
Yeah. I think that's really good. I think that could be a really good, I can see how people could use your services as a great starting, but also as a great like continuing point too. Like they've done as much as they possibly can, and now they need that next step help, or they don't know where to start. And they can, and so I'm assuming that people can, like you said, you're meeting them where they are. So I'm assuming you have resources for both of those types of scenarios.
Absolutely. We do. And right now, we are in a mental health crisis in this country. There are lots of people that are waiting to get into a therapist, waiting to get into a treatment center. We will guide them on that entire journey, and we can help them navigate that process. So if there's someone that is, really trying to get some help, but maybe they can't get in for 4 to 8 weeks, they can come in and talk with us and at least have someone to help them to figure out where to go next.
Well, and I think the other thing that's really important to talk about with mental health is not only the fact that people have the weight to get in, but not everybody has the resources to be able to go and find the help that they need. So maybe there's a barrier in cost for insurance, or I know insurance can sometimes really clog things up. So I think that's a great alternative for someone that really needs help right now. You guys can help afford that. And then you probably know resources that they did not know even existed. So I think that's a great kind of starting point for people, because we don't talk about that enough either. It's great to talk about mental health, but if we're not also providing a solution, then that's just making people feel more isolated because they can't do anything about it. Like, okay, I know there's something going on, but I don't know what to do. Can't afford to go, or I don't have the insurance or the resources. I think that's the aspect of it. And then, what were you going to say something?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm assuming that, you do this to help the community, but I'm assuming that this has also helped both of you in your recovery also. Yeah.
100%.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you want to talk a bit too, because I think that could be something that could be very encouraging for people who feel like you said, Melissa, you didn't think you could get out of it, let alone help other people. So it's like important for them to understand that you're getting something out of this too. And this could be something that could be possible for other people once they get on the other side.
Right. Yes. So it is really cool. A lot of the people that I help up being, they're like, man, I want to do what you do. And they're like, I want to help other people too. And we do offer peer support training for the entire state of Nebraska. That's something that we facilitate. We have both gone through the peer support as well as like learning to facilitate the peer support training. So yeah.
How about what do you think, Andrew? That's
Yeah,
helped you too.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, we have a saying in recovery that if you want to keep it, you have to give it away. And so I find for myself, the more that I give and show up for other people, the more I always tell the people that I work with, you might not understand this, but I'm getting way more out of it than you are. And that's the thing that saves my life every day, is just to show up and give for others. Absolutely. Else, like Melissa said, like maybe a little bit of insight into what that looks like it's a tremendous gift to be able to help other people.
Yeah. And it's nice too, because you have multiple pieces of support. Like for us with ferals, sometimes it just, you kind of need someone to tell you something in a different way. It's the same thing, but delivered in a different perspective. So I think that's why it's really important to have like a variety of people that, maybe they're not speaking quite the same accent of language as you, and then you find someone that you really click with, and that's probably could be what helps, make that difference. So I think that's why that peer support is kind of probably what it really makes everything better in your kind of organization.
Right. And I like, as far as the helping me too, I mean, we're really blessed that we have the freedom to do a variety of activities with our participants.
So like, what is that? Like what?
So I've done like the serious things. I can attend court. I can help them navigate, filling out applications for Medicaid or getting on the housing lists, or, we do like CPS or APS cases, helping them through all of those processes,
like the
charges,
aftermath of like,
aftermath of all of the things that they might be experiencing. It also, like you kind of mentioned, with the resources, getting help with food, with housing and, vouching alongside that. But it also can be if they just really want to get integrated back into some of the things that they used to do to make them well. I mean, I've walked around Holmes Lake, gone for a run, attended a yoga class, attended a 12-step meeting, attended a smart recovery meeting. I've crafted to get to like pot plants. I mean, a wide variety of things that we get to do that makes them feel good. And a lot of times when they're doing those therapeutic things, it breaks down that wall inside of them, and then they're able to open up and kind of talk about what's going on with them a little bit more. That's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a
Yeah.
break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the event, like what's going on. I know you're doing some prize giveaways. One of those is a Farrell's 10-week challenge that you can bid on and get. So we'll be right back with Melissa and Andrea. We're talking a little Mental Health Awareness Month here on the Fitness Fanatics. We'll be right back.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services, from group homes for special needs adults to independent living resources, the intellectual disability services your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a more rewarding career, learn more about available positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Are you planting this spring? Make safety your priority. LES requires any landscape crews safe access /trees to learn more.
If you love them enough to turn your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. Education director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma. If you were thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child or a stranger is following them. Perhaps things just go and link help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place. In fact, people see the mission and they set up a number around the city, safe locations where kids can seek out. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it and go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, we all do a little. We change a lot.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize it? By their clothes, their age, the way they speak? Would you notice the 16-year-old boy who got his first job,
feed his little sisters?
or a mother who's in between jobs and sometimes goes to bed hungry so her kids can have dinner? Or a 14-year-old girl who signs up to every after-school activity not to make friends, but just to get something to eat. Or a retiree who fell ill and had to choose
between getting medicine or groceries.
I am the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew were hungry. I am hunger in America.
Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7. It will magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 90 Ticket and the.com.
All right, welcome back here. We're joined in studio by Melissa and Andrea. We're talking mental health awareness. These two ladies are putting on an event coming up on May 18th, which I know when Melissa first reached out to me, we're going to a concert that night. So we're going to go see Tracy Lawrence. So it was like, okay, I know.
Thomas Rhett concerts that night too.
Okay.
In Omaha.
So
Yeah.
we couldn't attend, but Farrell's is donating a 10-week challenge that people can bid on
Or
out
the
of the
raffle.
event. Or raffle, yeah.
Mhm.
So tell the listeners like what the event is, what to expect, what's all going on that evening.
Okay, well, the event is Strike Out Stigma at Sun Valley Lanes. We've rented out the whole joint, and we get all the lanes for bowling, and it's just going to be a really fun, chill family event. So from 6 to 9 p.m., bowling will go from 6:30 to 8:30. It'll just be a great thing to bring kids to. We've got some really prizes from people like Farrell's. We've really been really blessed in the community. We've got some really great stuff that people can go and buy a ticket for, win something fun, and just have the opportunity to visit with our staff and make a connection and see what it is that we do at WVI. We are also gearing up for Lincoln Day, which will be on May 24th. And so this will be a good opportunity too to learn about the work we do and see if you want to contribute to us and have some matching funds for our organization on the 24th as well. So yeah, that's
awesome. All right. So Melissa, you've been a member at Farrell's a couple of times. You've done it. You love kickboxing. So I know something you wanted to talk about was something Nicole wanted to talk about too. So I might just let you two chat about it. But tying physical fitness, exercise in with mental health, like how it works together and that type of thing. So I'll let you go ahead and take it from here.
Okay. Yeah. I'm like, one of the things that we talk about at work is the 8 dimensions of wellness, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, like the wellness wheel. And
go ahead and explain it. Yeah.
Okay. So
Talk to Jeff like he's a five-year-old.
Yes, here we go.
Explain it to him like he's a
Todd.
5-year-old.
Okay.
That's an offer.
So there's 8 dimensions of wellness.
I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah,
I know.
Name
Sorry.
all 8 of them. We have social, physical, intellectual, financial, mental, spiritual,
and physical.
Yes.
Is that one already on there? You just
Yeah.
made that up. But anyway.
Occupational and I'm missing one.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so I think for me, a lot of times when in my mental health, when things are starting to spiral down and I start to disassociate or stop caring about things that are important to me, physical can be one of the first things to go, whether I just don't have the time or the motivation to work out or to get my body moving. But what I've found over the years, especially I grew up in dance, physical has always been mental health, and when I'm moving my body, like I well. And what I have loved about kickboxing and boxing and running, which I also participate in, is that and I think you had a gentleman who came and talked about this a little bit at one of the things when he talked about how you can leave everything on the back.
Oh, that was Aaron Davis. Yes.
Like your anxiety, your depression, your anger, your sadness, your grief, all of the things that you're feeling inside, just like take it out on the bag and then leave it there. I know that so that's been something that I have done. And when I go and facilitate groups, and we talk about, what are we going to do to support ourselves today or this week, like physical fitness is always one of the most important things that I need to remember to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I definitely feel it if I don't work out for a few days or I'm not, at least
Moving.
moving my body,
Mhm.
then my brain is lacking as
Yeah,
well.
we've talked about this, but for me, and people talk about how much exercise is therapy, and obviously we don't, like you said, we don't want to tell people you don't need to go to the doctor, just come work out, But when you can make that connection, so for me, exercise is such an important process for me when it comes to grief or just having some anxiety. And for me, it took me a long time to figure this out. And each person has to figure it out for themselves. But the reason why it's such a release for me is because it can make my physical physical feelings match how I'm feeling inside. So like if you're mentally exhausted, becoming matching that feeling, and it's almost like making it tangible where then that's what it is for me. That doesn't mean it's that for everybody, but if you can make that connection and you can realize that like mentally I am in a really, I'm really struggling, I'm really, just down mentally. If you can kind of match that physically for 45 minutes, 30, 45 minutes, an hour a day, and then you physically are as exhausted as you are mentally, that actually helps you come back kind of stronger, or does for me. So I think hopefully some people can relate to that, or maybe made that connection before. And that's really what that putting that on the bag is. That's what it does. Yeah. You're pouring that out in a physical way. And, you've seen this, people who abuse substances, they do that with substances, but to the detriment of their health and their well-being and their families and everything like that. So it's like the other side of that coin.
Right. Yep. I think that for me too, like it also makes me feel really strong.
Yeah.
Which is, when I've been feeling down and hopeless and weak for so long, after like really good work, I feel fierce. I feel hot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's you. That's really good. What about you? Kind of a relationship with physical activity and mental health and
Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's been a huge part of my recovery, especially in the past couple of years. I started running. I'll be doing the half marathon for the first time
Ooh, so
next
are we.
weekend.
Us too.
Are ya?
Yes. I mean,
Yeah.
not for the first
You
year.
can wait for me
But
at
we'll
the
be out
finish
there.
line.
Yeah.
You might be waiting for me at the finish line.
We have not trained very well.
I haven't
so-
either. It's going to be
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. We'll be fine.
And actually, that same day, right after that, I'm graduating from yoga teacher
Oh,
school.
fun.
So I will
Yeah.
be doing that. So
Mhm.
I boulder, I sail. I love to do physical things. And it was because
Mhm.
I never had a relationship with my body my whole life. I was
Yeah.
always trying to leave. I did
Mhm.
not want to be in this body. So a big part of my recovery has just been like really pulling my earth suit on and just being here in this
Yeah.
body and appreciating it for what it is and treating it with love and respect. And
Yeah.
and like Melissa said, like I love, I didn't think I could do a lot of this stuff. I didn't think I could
Huge
run
confidence.
13 miles or sail a boat or,
Yeah.
climb something. And now that I can do that stuff, it just makes me feel awesome. Like to just be who I am in this moment and be grateful for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you do like,
It's
so
important.
you like when you talk about climbing, have you like done any mountain climbing in Colorado?
Oh
or
no,
like just
no.
walk? Or-
I like there to be a nice big mat that I
Okay.
can
Yes.
land on if I fall
Well,
off.
so
I'm not
climbing,
there yet.
like wall climbing.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what
okay.
yeah, wall climbing.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
We did that once, and I was about 20 feet off the ground, and I was scared
Oh,
for
yeah,
my
yeah.
life. Like I can't go up any higher. I cannot physically move higher.
That's why it's a really important
Yes.
mental thing to do.
Yes.
You
Yes.
overcome that the more that you do it.
And I like it. It's like yoga. Like you can't think about anything else when you're doing it, or you're gonna fall
Right.
off.
Right. You're just yes.
True.
I'll tell you with the half, like with the full, they all end in the same plate. So like, my gosh, this is when you run in to the finish line, you just pretend you're just getting done with the full marathon.
Yeah.
Here we go, right? And the spectators aren't going to know, right? Because there's always going to be people finishing after you.
Yeah.
There'll be people finishing after me, because we have full marathoners coming in at the same time that we're finishing our half.
There you go.
Yeah.
So-
let's enter this from an air of deception.
Yes, yes,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
No, you're not doing it. Your bib will say half marathon probably, but you're using that to be you're bolstering yourself.
because you won't be
with
the
the
only
energy
one
coming from
yes,
other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
You won't be by yourself finished.
Jeff's not telling you to take a full marathon like medal.
Like full, yes,
still
like,
take
I
your
did
half
I did
marathon
full,
medal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
just
do
saying,
that.
like, don't be worried about like
No.
you're gonna be by yourself at the finish line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because even if you're the last, like our daughter did the half in 2021, and I was looking back at some times, and it
Didn't
took her
train
like,
the way she was supposed to. She
Yeah.
had to walk a lot of it at the end.
over 4 hours
To
They
do a
were
half
like-
marathon.
They were
She
like,
still finished.
get on the sidewalk. You need to finish on the sidewalk. But at the finish line, because there's a video you can watch yourself finishing.
You'll get a video of your finish.
She's coming in, and there's other people crossing the finish line with her. Now,
Yeah.
nobody needs to know
Right.
that those are
Right.
honors. Like that video and be like, look, here I am finishing the half, and there's other people with me.
Yeah.
You know,
That's the
that's
thing.
that
It's
was
not
my-
even that.
Absolutely.
It's that you're
That's
not.
it.
Yeah, it is. It's really fun. So if you're not as trained as you'd like to be, you can fall back. What we say, we always say we are completers, not competers. So our
Nice.
goal is to complete the day. You know. So when you're having that time, but this is your first half. So like this is the best. You have no pressure. You're not trying to beat a prior time. Like,
Mhm.
you know, you could, even if you don't even know what doing well means because you've never done it before. So,
Right.
yeah.
I've done the half C a couple times.
Oh, so you've done a
So
half
I've done a half.
marathon.
I've just haven't
Okay.
done the Lincoln half.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The Lincoln is I love the Lincoln half. That's my favorite.
A lot of people. There's, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really good.
I've ran 7 half marathons, and I am not fast by any
Mhm.
means.
Me
I am
neither.
not a runner.
Well, you are a runner.
Yeah, well, not a
Just not a
fast,
fast runner.
fast runner, but
Yeah.
I still do it. But like for me, it's also about the challenge. I'm a very challenge person. I'm a
Mhm.
competitive person, and of course, you have to kick back the like, oh, I'm not going to be the fastest person
Right.
out of your head, but like finishing the challenge. So I decided last year to do an entire training program and half marathon all on the treadmill because I
Mhm.
hate the treadmill and I needed to like break down that mental barrier of me and that piece of machinery. And it felt amazing to do that whole thing and then run. And that's kind of like what I get out of the 10-week challenge too. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is the
Mhm.
most, and you obviously want to run and you love it, but
Right.
Are
Yeah.
you
But
doing the
it's-
half? Are you doing half next Sunday?
I have no.
Okay. You probably trained as much as I have.
I'm doing
Yeah.
the prairie to prairie in a couple
Okay,
weeks.
That
yes.
race is really
Yeah.
fun. I did it last year. I'm probably gonna do it this year in some capacity. What are you, the runner?
I'm the runner. Yep.
Are you running both?
Yep.
Okay, so get some hills in. I'm gonna tell you right now. But it's really fun. It's really fun. We walked a lot of it, but it was fun. Very hilly. So get
You
that
haven't
in.
signed up for that yet.
We're
Yeah,
still
I'm gonna
figuring
have
out those radio schedules.
to. No, I have to. Well, I won't be doing it, so I'll be in here figuring something out.
We'll
you know.
figure it out.
But yeah, that's coming up here.
It's a fun one.
It's a very athletic couple months coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got all kinds of stuff to get outdoors, and the prairie to prairie. I know she did it with one of her friends.
It was a team.
Who was it? You and Heidi and who else?
Laura.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, just out having fun.
Yeah.
Next year, actually, we'll be hosting our first 5K as
Oh,
well
yay.
for WBI.
Okay,
so
cool.
maybe we can come back and talk
Wow.
about that when
Yeah.
it's coming up.
We do Project Overcome. That's what it's called, right? Yeah, we did. They had a 5K last September, and we did that. So
Cool.
Amy and
Yeah.
Amy Olson runs that, and she's a member at the gym. And so yeah, we'll definitely be getting involved with them for this year's run also. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, anything we can do to get out and help the community, and doing 5Ks are great because they're just 5K.
Yeah. Right.
Like
Love
we- 35 minutes.
But 5K is better than a 5K bowling.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
know.
Yeah. There's no running
That's
involved.
Yeah.
way better than 5K.
I know. I'm kind of sad that we can't go.
I know,
because
yeah, it would've been
I'm
fun.
not good at bowling either, but you are. You can be.
Well, I
good at
haven't bowled
bowling.
for 15 years.
I know,
so.
but you don't have to train to bowl.
No,
really.
you don't.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. The bowling event will be really fun. Do you have to pre-register?
You don't.
Okay.
We will take people at the
Do you
door.
have a registration?
We do.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
we do have a link.
It's on Eventbrite. Too.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and we'll share it kind of on our Instagram too, so people can pre-register for that. What's the cost?
It's $15 for an adult, and if you would like a T-shirt like the awesome one Melissa's wearing, we do have really cool T-shirts. It's $30.
I like that material.
Kid registration, I think it's 10.
Okay,
So
very cool.
$50 to bowl for 2 hours
It's a
is
good
like
deal.
Yeah.
an amazing deal.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, that's a deal for that because usually a game is what, like $6, $7, $8 a game. Yes, yes.
And it's
so.
for a great cause.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. I think it'd be good too. It's a great family event. And during the break, we were talking about, mental health and kids and teenagers and how scary that can be as parents to navigate. So, like, if you're a parent, that would be a great thing to get your kids involved in so your kids can see that there are, resources out there and stuff like that too. So, I think that's, something that's important to us because we have kids that, are 16 and 20 and it's something you have to be aware of as a parent, making sure your kids are not struggling or not even not struggling. They're probably struggling, but, are being able to navigate those struggles, because I think for so long, and Jeff was definitely been guilty about this in the past, your kids are like having a hard time and you're like, oh, your life's so hard. You know what I mean?
I say that all the time.
Yeah, I know. But if we're really struggling, you wouldn't say that. But it's true. I mean, kids have a lot of stress on them now that we didn't have when we were growing up.
Mainly the social media aspect of it. I got picked on in school and people shot staples at me and put corn.
But you could go home.
I could go home and
Right.
shut it off.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So I didn't have to deal with it when I got home. That was when I got off the bus. When I got off the bus, it was over for me.
Yes.
Then I could go be with my friends and then it was like, okay, now I just go to school. And I mean, it wasn't an everyday thing, but yes, I could shut it off. I didn't have to go home and get on social media and there's more bullying going on. And so that's the difference between when we were growing up and the kids today. So, all right. Well, we're going to take our last break here. We'll be back to wrap it up with Melissa and Andrea. 93.7 The Ticket, Fitness Fanatics.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln by offering a number of services. From group homes for special and independent living and job training, you'll find the intellectual and developmental disabilities your loved one needs to live a fulfilling life. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a career, learn more about positions. Learn more about services for your loved ones or employment today at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
1 in 3 adults has previous 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Victor deployed for the flying to Afghanistan in 2004 in the morning, my friend. They said, I regret to inform you that your husband was wounded in action. Victor sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury, was doing school full time, and I was also then caring for Victor. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself. I just didn't want to forget that I also had goals and that I also had a life. What I did is I challenged Victor to meet me halfway. There are almost 6 million military veteran caregivers across the nation. Our own journey at the same time.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. With a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, talk to doctor now and share it. Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April, the host option presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Public schools are the cornerstones of our communities, and it's communities that ensure students have great public schools. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Learning happens at home, in school, and everywhere in between. We all have a role to play in supporting student learning in the classroom and beyond. Help us make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcast Association and this station.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day.
These sisters will make sure we're safe. It is legacy.
Protect legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness day. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm gonna risk test. We'll have prediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Now back to Fitness Fanatics on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Fitness Fanatics, our final segment here. We've been joined in studio by Melissa and Andrea. They're putting on an event here coming up on May 18th. So any last words? I know you guys ladies had a couple of things you wanted to talk about here in the last segment.
How people can find a more
about
well-being
what you
initiative.
do. Yep.
Right. Social media and physically. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sure. Yep. You can go to our website at wellbeinginitiatives.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram under Wellbeing Initiative. Our website does say if you are interested in receiving peer support or know of anybody that is interested in receiving peer support, you can fill out a referral. There's a link on our website, and anybody can refer anybody. It can be friends, family, it can be associates, so if you want to go in and just ask you a few demographic questions for that referral about that individual or the participant seeking that additional support.
And you can do that for yourself.
You can you can self-refer.
Okay.
Yep.
And if that's a barrier, you can just give us a call and we can do a referral over the phone or come in and see us in person. That's fine.
So does that basically, that's just kind of like an initial intake, kind of give you guys more information. Yeah.
Right.
So
And then we will reach out to that individual within 24 hours and see what maybe they're looking for, what kind of support they like, how we can help them find additional resources and go from
And
there.
then where are you guys physically located? You have multiple locations or just the, okay.
No, we have one physical location so far, which is at
Yeah.
5530 O Street 2. Yep.
Okay, great. And then groundbreaking.
Yeah. Friday, we just did a grab our third space. So we have our wellness and education at that location as well. And now we are going to begin construction on our third space. It's our East Wing expansion.
Very cool.
And we're going to have a co-working space. So people from the community will have a safe place to come in and work. If they, you know, we've all been really isolated during the pandemic. A lot of people are working from home. So if they want a space to come and do that, they could do that there. We're also going to be having a kitchen where we can do some cooking and nutrition classes. And I know Melissa is going to be doing some classes, right, Melissa?
I'm hoping to do some meal classes. And,
Awesome.
yep, cooking demos.
Yeah, that's really good. Really cool. Any other like final words of advice for people or, you know, encouraging people to reach out or, you know, put you on the spot again, but
No, I think the main thing that I would want people to know that I didn't know for so long is that you're really not alone. If anyone is out there listening to this and they're struggling today and they're feeling like no one would understand where they're coming from and no one would understand how they could possibly be feeling and don't know how to get out of it, they're not alone. They can reach out to us. We are there. No one is going to be judging them, looking down on them. We know what it's like to walk through this, and you don't have to go through it alone.
Yep, that's really good advice. We really just want to strive for mental health to be just as, you know, part of the conversation as any other type of, you know, health care that we get. So definitely appreciate you guys being a part of the community, and we want to help you guys get that word out as much as possible. So
Any last words from you, Melissa?
I think Andrea pretty much covered it right there. It's just a reminder that all of our services are free of charge. We do have yoga classes. I have a lovely coworker that teaches one of them. Andrea will probably teach some in the near future. We have a neurodiversity group. We have open peer groups. We do a couple of RAP groups, which is Wellness Recovery Action Plan. And individuals like crisis. And yeah, and give us a call on our website.
And register to bowl.
Register to bowl, so we
Yes.
can strike out stigma.
Yeah,
All
yep,
right.
that's awesome.
Well, thanks for coming in. I know we have a couple more minutes before we get off. So, either you two big football fans?
Yes.
Okay.
Seahawks.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I don't think we've
Yeah.
ever had a Seahawks
Right.
fan on
So
the
it's just,
show.
you know, a sports station. So
Yeah,
we always
so
like to talk a little sports.
How did you become a Seahawks
Yeah,
fan?
that's a Midwest
We
Seahawks
love hearing these stories.
Yes. Actually, that goes back to my great grandma and great grandpa.
Okay.
They were fans. We used to watch a little bit of that, and then also I had a boss in high school who was a Seahawks fan, and he used to play all of the games up on our TV while
Okay.
we were working on
Yeah.
Sundays.
Now,
So
did your grandparents live there? Like, or
no,
they just
they
started
just,
liking them?
Yep, they just did.
Yeah,
And then
right.
my aunt got to work on Steve Largent's political campaign when she lived in Tulsa.
Okay.
And so yeah, it just kind of all tied up in a neat package.
Yeah, it's
I
always
was a
funny.
big Hasselbeck fan and Sean Alexander, so
Oh,
that
yeah.
was my duo back then.
Mike Holmgren was the head coach.
Yes.
All right, so Russell Wilson now is a Denver Bronco. Are you like kind of happy with that trade?
I'm ecstatic about that trade.
Seeming to be how bad he was, right?
And my
In
boyfriend
Denver.
is a Broncos fan,
Oh,
so it's
geez.
made it all
Yeah.
sweeter.
His problem
It's just
now.
like the
Yeah,
draft
his
over
problem.
the week. That's too bad for you.
That's awesome.
I got a good friend of mine that lives up in Mount Vernon, Washington, he's a Bears fan, like that's his number one team. But usually when you live in a city, that's kind of your second team. But he's also his son's a big Seahawks fan and stuff like that. So we follow them but yeah, well, that's awesome. How about you? NFL fan?
I was so hoping that I would get out of here without having that question asked.
Well, Harrison's playing the music, so
Oh,
we got to
you
go
lucked
anyway.
out.
So you lucked out. You lucked
Well,
out.
thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. Again,
Yes.
we will not be in here live next week, but we'll be back on Mother's Day, May 14th, with an episode for everyone. So take care, and we will see you next time.